Legendary voice in New York journalism, Pablo Guzman has died.
Legendary is the right word. Pablo, a familiar face to viewers and a friend and colleague to so many of us here at CBS2 and beyond. Dave Carlin here now with a look back at his life and career. Dave.
And so very cool and perfect at his job. And warm. Pablo Guzman loved being a journalist in this city, and many would argue he was one of the best, if not the best, street reporter in the history of New York City. And wow, his own story was really something else.
I love reporting in New York. This job never ceases to amaze me.
This city made Pablo Guzman who he was. He was just like it, brilliant, tough, with a tender side too.
What about school?
I never knew what was going to come out of his mouth.
With Cindy Hsu and Pablo Guzman together on the CBS2 News desk, they kept it real.
Yeah, y'all done now?
Yes.
Okay.
For him, there was no other way.
He knew everybody, even on the shady side of the law.
Guzman graduated from the Bronx High School of Science in 1968 and attended the State University of New York at Old Westbury. In the 1970s, before covering news in print and on radio and TV, he was making news. And his life was rough and tumble with the Young Lords, a primarily Puerto Rican revolutionary party.
Everybody here go out, and you go out proud no matter what happens. But this church is ours. This is a people's church.
People say I'm tough, but I had to be. You see, in the 1970s, I ran these streets with the Young Lords Party, and I learned that nobody gives you anything on a silver platter, especially not a news story. That's why I go after him with the same drive I used back then.
His television career highlights at channels 5, 4, and Here at 2 included Everything Gotti, gaining extraordinary trust and access to all the players, coverage of 9/11 and its aftermath, and countless community stories that took him to almost every neighborhood and won him legions of fans.
I want to say with the Yankees, he was holding court with the fans, having as good, if not a better time than they were.
People talked to Pablo, and it sure was true. He had a knack for bringing out the best in people, and people really trusted him.
In the early 90s, Nelson Mandela was finally let out of prison, and he came here to speak to the UN, and I got to go to the press conference. When it was over, one of the African diplomats wanted to talk to me. My ego was jumping, and all the other reporters thought I had the inside track. So I went over to him, looked him right in the eye, and he wanted to ask me about John Gotti.
Pablo was a unique combination of street smart and book smart. I don't think any reporter in New York history had the street cred that Pablo possessed.
His presence made even a sensational crime story a bigger deal that Pablo Guzman was actually there.
I was a producer, and sometimes we'd mix it up over scripts, and I'd say, like, Pablo, I'm not following this. And he'd look at me and say, Dick, when I read it, you'll follow it.
He could tell a story so uniquely with a little bit of flair and a little bit of drama, but boy, we were caught up in it. And there just hasn't been anyone like him, and I don't know if there ever will be.
Equal to his love for the Yankees was music, and he was a connoisseur.
I would have told you about this new album, which I thought I liked, but now
that's what it's all about.
Pablo Guzman was 73 years old. He is survived by his wife, Debbie, and their 2 children, Angela and Daniel, and his mother, Sally.
So many good memories. I grew up listening to him. My mom would listen to him on the radio. Yeah. The real deal, right? I didn't know how this guy was so smart. Yeah. He knew so much. He knew everybody. He was so tough. And when meeting him, he was a teddy bear. He did everything with humanity and with passion and with caring for everybody that he interviewed and the viewer too. So that came through, and that was really, really special about this man.
It was like, you know, the trench coat outside,
look, right.
You know, the look that he had, the swagger, and he was just a gentleman. He was an absolute gentleman, and getting to work alongside him, wow, how lucky were we?
Yeah, privileged, truly.
And he fought for the good stories, the community stories, the ones, he said, everyone see this story. It makes a difference.
Representation.
All about the common person, yeah. Beautiful remembrance, Dave.
Oh, no, it's just so easy with him.
Yes.
You let him do the talking.
Yeah.
The consummate storyteller.
Truly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And our love and our prayers to his family tonight.
No doubt. And we'll be right back.